Hi guys, my name is Corey Spence. I'm one of the art teachers here at Green Hill High School. This year I'm teaching Art 2, Art 3, and AP Art. So I might have had you for Art 1. If so, welcome back. If not, I'm glad to have you. This is Art 2. I just want to preface that it's not a repeat of Art 1. You've already received that Art 1 credit that you needed, so I'm just going to be honest, it's not a repeat of Art 1, so don't expect to get 100 on every single project. I have a little bit higher expectations in Art 2, and then as you advance, those expectations increase. So just fair warning there. You are expanding your knowledge from Art 1. So this means that you are taking everything you know from Art 1 and you are now incorporating it into Art 2. I like to say that Art 2 is probably one of my favorites to teach just because we do a lot more projects working with different mediums. So you guys will be working in paint, Sculpey, clay a little bit, paper mache, and then actual clay. So a lot of different things here. And yeah, so that's pretty much my course description. Now, as far as materials go, you need the exact same materials as you did in Art 1. So the first one being that sketchbook. If you still have your sketchbook from Art 1, that's great. You can just reuse it. Or just use it if you have pages left. If you don't have pages left, I just need that same sketchbook. You guys will still be doing sketches. However, you don't have sketchbook assignments anymore. So kudos to you. You guys do have a class fee. It's $20. This helps pay for all the art supplies. It's very much needed in this class, especially because you guys go through, Celluclay, and that's pretty pricey, and then actual real clay, which is very pricey. So make sure to turn in that class fee. And emails should be sent out, I want to say at the end of August, early September, for your class fee. Okay. As far as grades go, or how things are graded in Art 2, it's pretty different. So in Art 1, your projects were 50%. However, I want you to notice this, if it's increased a lot. So your projects, which means you are working on this project independently, that is 70% of your grade. So a big chunk of your grade is that project. So this is pretty much where you got to show me your skills and really try your best here. So major projects such as like your first one will be your micography, then you guys will do like a hands one and a figure one, and so forth. That's a big chunk of your grade. After that will be like your minor projects, which is pretty much all of your preliminary stuff leading up to your project, such as sketches and other planning, and that's 30%. Okay, so that's as far as grading goes and how my grades are weighted. I want to talk about my expectations in classroom procedures. Now, if you are from another art room, whether that's, I guess in this case it would just be Coach Crouch, I think we pretty much keep things pretty similarly, but this is, I'm gonna scoot here so you can see it, pretty much how my class works. So at the start of class, make sure to be on time. You guys know that there's a tardy system here. So if the door shuts, go to the tardy station so you can be let in. Make sure when you come in to read the board and follow instructions. Now this really kind of won't come into play until I get back. However, depending on your teacher, they might display my Google Classroom, and this will pretty much just state what you guys are working on. So make sure you do check the board. You will gather your materials before class, especially if you're working on your project. Do not use class time to interrupt your teacher and get materials while they're talking. So get that done before and then find your seat. During studio time, I grade this time. So studio time means that you are working on your projects. So just working on your projects. And make sure you're using your time wisely. So if it's a studio day and you guys are just working on projects, do not sit on your phone. Do not sleep the whole class period because that's graded. So, and that's also a big chunk of your grade. So make sure you're using that time wisely. During that time, make sure to follow the instructions that you are given. Use your time wisely, like I've said. Work hard and ask questions if you need to. At the end of class, make sure you clean up. After this video, you'll see a whole classroom tour, and I go over all the materials and pretty much my expectations for that. So there shouldn't be any confusion there. So make sure you clean up after yourself. Stay seated. At the end of class, do not go to the door like we're in elementary school and start lining up. It's annoying. Don't do it. And then take work home if needed. You're more than welcome to come in at the end of the day and grab your materials that you need. If you're trying to borrow materials, just let me or your teacher know. And that's pretty much it. Expectations. Now these are kind of cheesy, but they apply and they always work. Respect yourself, your classmates, and your environment. Treat everything with respect in this room. Raise your hand when you have a question, your confidence and your expectations, and then of course follow class procedures, directions, and school policies. Okay. Absence and tardies, it is your responsibility to let me or your teacher know if you've missed, especially if you're working on a project and you know a due date is coming up. You need to talk to one of us so we can establish either a new due date or you can just check out and see what you've missed. Now at the beginning of the semester, it's going to be weird because I'm not going to be here. So if you ever need to know what you've missed, it's most likely posted on Google Classroom. So check there. Tardies, like I've mentioned, the tardy policy, which you guys already know. Don't be late or you have to go get a tardy pass. Late assignments, my main thing is I will take late work until 1 week past its due date. I do not count off for that late work, but let's say you've turned something in on Friday. After that following Friday, I will not accept it anymore. If you've missed a day, just talk to me or your teacher and y'all can establish a new due date. But for the most part, your work will not be accepted after that 1 week. So just know that going forward. Resources, you guys will use Google Classroom. I will show you that here in just a second, and I'll show you your Google Classroom code. I'll use Parent Square and set that up later, and then Skyward, as you guys know. Restroom, go to the restroom before class. You guys have 7 minutes, but if you need to go during class, just know you can't go before or at the beginning of the first 10 minutes of class or the last 10 minutes of class, and only one student may go to the restroom at a time. I don't do the whole boy-girl thing. It's just one person, easier to keep up with. If you do go, I have a hall pass over there. Just make sure to take it and bring it back and hang it up by the door. And then the last one, the one mostly people care about, is my cell phone policy. And you guys already know in art, you have a lot of downtime. So you are more than welcome to listen to music, listen to a podcast, and work on your artwork at the same time. But do not have Netflix playing and trying to multitask. I do not like that. Also, your studio time is graded, so if you're sitting on your phone the whole time and it becomes an issue, I'll just start to take your phone, and that's pretty much it, and you'll just get a bad grade for your studio time. So that is it for cell phones. And let me click over here to your Google Classroom. And I've already posted everything for y'all's classes. Or not posted, I guess I should say I've scheduled everything to be posted. So this syllabus will be one of the first things posted right before school starts. It'll be under Intro to Visual Art. And this is what your classroom looks like. It says Visual Art 2, Fall 2025. And then here's y'all's Google Classroom code. I'll probably have this printed out by the board too, but for right now, take a picture of it so you can put it in when you guys have your Chromebooks. I'm really hoping you guys get your Chromebooks within like the first 2 weeks of school, but you never know. All right, hopefully you got a picture of it, and I'm gonna click off of it. And that is it. That is it for Visual Art 2 as far as your syllabus and Google Classroom. Just make sure to check Google Classroom because that's where I'll post everything. And after this video will be your classroom tour. And that's it. Bye, Art 2.